White doors are the default choice for 90% of homes, but default doesn't mean good. Most designers in 2026 agree that the standard six-panel white door drains character from a room. Design isn't just about what you put on the walls, but how you transition between them. From the return of warm walnut to the bold psychology of color drenching, current options do more than close a room off because they actually define it. Living with builder-grade white slabs ignores one of the most powerful surfaces in your house. Matte black and charcoal doors have moved past being a trend and settled into being a staple, because contrast creates depth. When you have light walls and light floors, a white door disappears and leaves the room feeling washed out. A black door acts as a visual anchor that tells the eye exactly where the room ends and begins. In 2026, we see a shift away from pure jet black towards softer, complex darks like anthracite or deep graphite. These shades absorb light rather than reflecting it, which stops the room from feeling cluttered. Galleries use this trick because dark frames make the art stand out, just as dark doors make your furniture look expensive. Putting a black door in your hallway requires changing the hardware to match the intensity. Chrome handles on a black door often look cheap and dated by reminding people of office buildings from the early 2000s. The correct move for a modern look is satin brass or unlacquered bronze, because the warmth of the gold tones cuts through the coldness of the black paint. This combination creates a balance that feels residential rather than commercial. If you prefer a monochromatic look, matte black handles on a black door create a dipped effect that is currently very popular. This technique hides the hardware visually to place all the focus on the architectural shape of the door itself. It is a small detail that separates a DIY paint job from a professional design choice. You cannot simply replace every door in your house with charcoal and expect it to work, because dark doors demand light. They function best in hallways with good lighting or in rooms with larger windows. Putting a black door in a small windowless powder room or a narrow corridor creates a black hole effect that shrinks the space. The strategy top designers use is installing them in main connecting areas, like the foyer, the living room, or the kitchen pantry. This approach creates a rhythm as you walk through the house. One dark door is a mistake, but 3 dark doors in a row becomes a design statement, where consistency gives the choice intentionality. For a long time, wood doors meant hollow, orange-toned pine from the 1990s, but that era is over. The current market is dominated by white oak and walnut, because these materials bring material integrity back to the home. We are seeing a massive rejection of synthetic, smooth surfaces in favor of visible grain and texture. A solid white oak door looks different and sounds different when it closes. It adds a layer of acoustic warmth that painted MDF can never replicate. In 2026, the finish is everything, so high gloss varnish is out. The goal now is an ultra matte and almost raw look that protects the wood without making it shine like plastic. The biggest evolution in wood doors is not the species, but the texture. Flat slabs are being replaced by reeded or fluted detailing, where the wood is carved into vertical ridges. This adds a tactile element to the room that changes as the sun moves across the surface. Shadows play in the grooves to make the door feel like a piece of sculpture rather than a barrier. This style works very well in mid-century modern or Japandi-inspired homes, where clutter is low and texture is the main decoration. If a full fluted door is too expensive, many homeowners are applying fluted panels to existing flat doors as a weekend project. It is a high-end look that hides wear and tear much better than a smooth painted surface.
A common fear stops people from buying wood doors
Because they worry about clashing with their wood floors. The rule to follow is that you should not try to match them perfectly. You will likely fail, and the near miss will look like a mistake. You must go for enough contrast that the difference looks intentional. If your floors are a pale and bleached oak, choose a rich and dark walnut for the doors. If your floors are dark cherry, go for a light and airy birch or white oak door. The separation creates a layered palette that feels curated. If you must keep the tones similar, break them up with a painted trim. A white or charcoal frame between a wood door and a wood floor acts as a big buffer that prevents the grains from fighting each other when she'd liven. A white or charcoal frame that prevents the grains from fighting into the wood door. The separation creates a lot of binsimilar that's seen the wood door and the wood door, the main no-shapes as a variability. If you must keep the tones similar, break them up with a wood door that prevents the birch for the floor. Write them up because the wood door is not to be subtomatic by wood. If you must keep the tones similar, break them form birch between a wood door and a wood floor. The separation creates a lot of binsimilar that prevents the grains that privet a deal and the wood door that prevents the birch. If you must keep the tones similar, break them form birch between a wood door and a wood floor. You must break them up with the door. A white or charcoal frame between a wood door and a wood floor, the grains from fighting each other.
Grey is officially over.
Because the cool-toned millennial grey that covered everything for 10 years has been replaced by what designers call the new neutrals. Leading this trend is the 2026 colour of the year from Sherwin-Williams, known as Universal Khaki. It is a sandy and warm beige that feels grounded and organic. Painting your doors in these warm and putty-like tones connects them to the natural world outside. Unlike white, which can feel sterile and hospital-like, a taupe or beige door feels like a soft pause in the visual space. It works particularly well in homes with stone countertops, linen sofas, and wool rugs. It is the color of comfort that hides dust much better than bright white.
A specific painting technique taking over in 2026 is called color capping. This involves painting your door, the door frame, and the ceiling in the same color family, while leaving the walls a different shade. You might have creamy white walls, while the door and the ceiling are both a soft terracotta or warm beige. This draws the eye upward and creates a canopy effect that makes rooms feel taller and more cohesive. It stops the door from being an isolated rectangle floating on a wall and turns it into a vertical bridge to the ceiling. This bold move wraps the space in color without overwhelming it in a small bedroom
or home office. If you want actual color, 2026 has two clear winners, in warm eucalyptus and moody plum. Valspar named warm eucalyptus their color of the year, and it is appearing on doors everywhere. It is a muted and sage-like green that functions almost like a neutral because it pairs with wood and white so effortlessly. Deep plum and burgundy are replacing navy blue as the luxury color on the darker end. A plum door with brass hardware feels regal and historic, even in a new build. These colors are best used on doors leading to private spaces, like bedrooms or studies, where you want to signal a shift in atmosphere. You cross the threshold, and the mood changes instantly. For those who hate visual clutter, the color-drenching trend is a powerful solution. This technique involves painting the door, the trim, the baseboards, and the walls, all the exact same color. There is no white outline and no breaking up the space, so the door simply melts into the wall. Mentions of this technique are up nearly 150% this year because it makes small rooms look much larger. When your eye does not catch on the frame, the walls feel continuous. It works with dark, moody colors to create a cozy box, or with light neutrals to create an airy and boundless space. The only rule is to change the sheen by using eggshell on the walls and semi-gloss on the doors for durability. Solid doors block sound, but they also kill light. The surge in working from home has made natural light a premium commodity, which has led to the rise of interior glass doors. We are not talking about French doors with white grids, because the look now is black steel or thin aluminium frames with large panes of glass. These are often used for home offices or dividing a living room from a dining area. They provide acoustic separation, so you can take a video call while keeping the visual flow of the house open. It makes a 1,200 square foot apartment feel like 2,000 square feet, because your line of sight never hits a dead end. The obvious problem with glass is privacy, since nobody wants a clear glass door on a bathroom or a messy laundry room. The solution lies in textured glass. Reeded glass has vertical ridges, similar to the wood trend, and distorts the view enough to provide privacy while still letting light filter through. It turns the person behind the door into a soft and abstract shape rather than a clear figure. Frosted glass is the budget option, but it often looks dated, while fluted or smoked glass feels intentional and architectural. It allows you to close off a mess without closing off the sun, to create a glow that a solid wood door cannot offer. If you really want to be on the forefront of 2026 design, you look at the frame rather than just the door. Frameless or flush-to-wall doors are growing in popularity for modern renovations. These doors have hidden hinges and no casing, so they sit perfectly flush with the drywall. When painted to match the wall, they become nearly invisible and appear only as a thin seam in the surface. This is architectural minimalism at its peak. It requires more work during installation because your drywall contractor has to be precise. But the result is a clean and gallery-like aesthetic that makes standard door casings look clunky by comparison. We have to address the barn door. Rustic barn doors were everywhere for a while, but that farmhouse trend is fading. The mechanism itself remains excellent for saving space. The 2026 version of a slider is sleek and often uses glass or a flat slab of colored MDF with hidden hardware that does not look like it belongs in a stable. Pocket doors are even better if you are doing a full remodel. You gain about 10 square feet of usable floor space that a swinging door would consume by sliding the door into the wall. Reclaiming that swing arc in tighter urban homes means room for a desk, a plant, or simply better flow. Changing your doors is not cheap, but the return on investment is surprisingly high. Real estate data shows that buyers register solid, non-white doors as a custom feature that subconsciously lifts the value of the entire home. A hollow white door says flipped house or rental grade, while a solid white oak door or a color-drenched hallway says custom design. You touch a door handle every single day. The weight of the door and the feel of the finish is a tactile experience that defines quality living. If you have the budget for only one renovation this year, skip the throw pillows and replace the doors in your main living areas, because the impact is immediate. Your doors are more than just functional barriers, because they are the punctuation marks of your home. Whether you choose the grounding depth of charcoal, the organic warmth of white oak, or the smooth look of color drenching, the goal is to make a choice that reflects the life you live inside those walls. The era of the default white slab is over, and the opportunity to add personality has never been easier to grasp. If you found these design tips helpful for your next project, subscribe for more detailed looks into the features that actually make a house feel like a home.